This is the part 2 of the story. He used modern game design to build the most addictive dungeon in another world. If you haven't watched that already, then go watch that first. You can find the link to the previous part in the description as well as in the pinned comment.
The adventure squad spotted a goblin camp attacking a nearby village. "There are a lot of them," one adventurer muttered. Wu Yue cracked his knuckles. "So what, we've cleared worse." Seeing the villagers already fighting on the front line, he grinned. "Perfect, we hit them from behind." Before anyone could stop him, Wu Yue charged. The rest of the squad rushed in after him. The ambush instantly threw the goblins into chaos. Compared to orcs, these goblins were weak, fragile, and mostly just common-grade mobs. Against 20 experienced adventurers, they stood no chance. The goblins were quickly wiped out, leaving only the goblin leader. It was stronger than the rest, but it still fell under the adventurers' shameless teamwork as they surrounded it and beat it down from every direction. With the goblin leader dead, the remaining goblins scattered and the village was saved. 2 armed villagers cautiously approached to thank them. They looked human, but their long, pointed ears gave them away. "Elves?" Wu Yue asked. Bai Feifei shook her head. "No, true elves wouldn't be bullied by goblins. These are probably half-elves." The villagers tried speaking, but nobody understood them. Bai Feifei then took out a recruitment order. The moment the half-elves saw the system item, they seemed to understand and quickly led the adventurers into the village. Soon, the village elder gathered everyone together and lined them up for selection. The meaning was obvious. The village was willing to hand over some of its people in exchange for survival. The only warriors were excluded, leaving behind only the old, the weak, children and girls. Li Ruopu rubbed his chin. Lord Chen specifically said he wanted pretty girls. That narrowed the choice immediately. The squad picked 2 petite half-elf girls from the crowd. Both looked skinny and underfed, but their delicate features made it obvious they would be beautiful once properly cared for. Bai Feifei gently approached and showed them the recruitment order. The girls were frightened at first, but after the village elder persuaded them, they finally accepted. At that moment, a notification appeared before Chen Yu. "Congratulations, you have successfully recruited 2 villagers, half-elf times 2. Back at the castle, Chen Yu was delighted. Not only had the adventurers succeeded, they had brought back half-elves. Soon, the squad returned with the 2 girls, dropped them off, and immediately headed back into the forest to continue exploring. Chen Yu finally met the first residents of Great Xia Sleepless City. The 2 girls stood nervously in front of him. "What are your names?" Chen Yu asked. "My name is Lena," one girl said softly. "She is Effie." Chen Yu nodded, "Pretty, young, and perfect for happy chess and cards. In other words, excellent future NPC material." But the first thing he noticed was how thin they were. They had clearly been starving for a long time. Without hesitation, Chen Yu exchanged for 2 lavish meals. The system warned him it would cost extra soul crystals, but he still paid. A huge spread of food appeared before the girls. "Eat," Chen Yu said. "As long as you work hard here, you'll never go hungry again." The girls froze, then tears filled their eyes. They dropped to their knees and thanked him over and over. From that moment onward, Lena and Effie officially became the first residents of Great Xia Sleepless City. And for Chen Yu, they were also the beginning of his next expansion plan. If Happy Chess and Cards wanted to keep growing, then the dungeon needed real staff. And Lena and Effie would become the first bunny girls of his empire. While eating, Lena and Effie hesitantly asked if they could bring some food back to their families. Chen Yu agreed immediately. Not only that, he redeemed even more food and had Li Ruopu's group deliver it back to the half-elf village for them. To Chen Yu, this was an investment. The half-elf tribe lived close to his castle, so if he could win them over with food now, it would be much easier to absorb them into Great Xia Sleepless City later. Lena and Effie were deeply moved. In the dark world, food and soul crystals were precious resources, yet Chen Yu was willing to spend both on 2 girls with no combat ability. That made them misunderstand his intentions a little. Lena had heard of lords who collected beautiful girls from other races for personal pleasure, so she quietly expressed that they were willing to do anything as long as they could stay here. But Chen Yu didn't react that way at all. Instead, he calmly explained their actual job. They would work inside Happy Chess and Cards as reception staff for adventurers. To Lena and Effie, this sounded unbelievable. The work was simple, the castle was safe, and they would be fed every day. Compared to their old life in the half-elf village, this place felt like heaven. The two girls even worried they weren't doing enough and asked Chen Yu to give them more work. Chen Yu could only tell them that if they wanted, they could stay open later at night. Then he brought them into the dungeon. The moment they entered Happy Chess and Cards, the outfits Chen Yu had prepared automatically appeared on them. The two half-elf girls were instantly dressed in elegant black bunny girl uniforms, matching the golden casino atmosphere of the card room. And the moment they appeared, the entire hall exploded. The adventurers immediately turned to stare. Half-elf girls. They're actually bunny girls. They're way too pretty. Chen Yu watched the scene with satisfaction. With Lena and Effie joining as bunny girl attendants, Happy Chess and Cards had officially taken another step toward becoming a real entertainment dungeon. Inside Happy Chess and Cards, nearly 30 adventurers were already packed into the room, and Lena and Effie's bunny girl appearance instantly became the center of attention. To stop anyone from acting out, Chen Yu gave the two girls overwhelming in-dungeon authority. Any troublemaker could be killed, kicked out, and stripped of all happy coins on the spot. The two half-elf girls adapted fast. Lena quickly learned how to handle tutorials, coin exchanges, and overall dungeon management, while Effie picked up the service side just as smoothly. Seeing how reliable they were, Chen Yu finally felt like he could stop babysitting every single visitor himself. Lena even suggested opening a small food and drink corner inside the dungeon so adventurers could spend happy coins while they played. Chen Yu immediately liked the idea. He added a small restaurant and dessert bar, selling snacks, drinks, and fancy-looking treats at high prices to start draining happy coins back into the system. After that, Chen Yu officially assigned their roles. Lena became the dungeon manager, overseeing the operation of Happy Chess and Cards, while Effie managed the food counter and helped wherever needed. With the two of them in place, the dungeon was finally able to run on its own. As more adventurers kept arriving through referrals, the player count soon pushed against the 40-person limit. Chen Yu decided not to wait any longer and spent the soul crystals to create Happy Chess and Cards, Line 3. The third server was instantly replicated and merged into the existing setup, expanding the entire play area once again. The adventurers immediately noticed the change and were shocked. In only a few days, Chen Yu had already expanded his dungeon multiple times, something almost unheard of for a rookie lord. But the bigger reason they were excited was simple: the place was alive. 40 people could now play in the same dungeon, chat, gamble, argue, laugh, and drag in more friends. That was the real strength of Happy Chess and Cards. Unlike the usual single-player or tiny team dungeons, Chen Yu's dungeon felt crowded, social, and unpredictable. The more people joined, the more fun it became and the more addictive it felt. By the end of the day, many adventurers were already planning to bring in even more friends tomorrow, all for the referral rewards and another chance to keep playing. After 4 days, Happy Chess and Cards had officially started making noise. For a rookie dungeon lord, surviving was already hard enough, but Chen Yu was already pulling in absurd numbers and expanding far faster than normal. He checked the regional chat and saw Zhao Hailiang still showing off his purchased Hittaipi dungeon, boasting about his income and acting like no rookie could compete with him. But after doing the math, Chen Yu realized Zhao Hailiang's so-called success wasn't even close. Today alone, Chen Yu earned 325 soul crystals. That was more than enough to crush Zhao Hailiang's results and proved one thing clearly. Happy Chess and Cards was a gold mine. The reason was simple: other dungeons relied on turnover. Adventurers went in, cleared once, and left. But Chen Yu's dungeon trapped people for the entire day. They burned all their attempts there, spent extra for happy coins, and kept dragging in new players through referrals. Every adventurer who got hooked was basically worth multiple normal visitors. By evening, after deducting expenses, Chen Yu still had 170 soul crystals left, enough to start planning Line 4 and push capacity even higher. When the dungeon finally emptied for the night, Chen Yu called Lena and Effie out of the game room. The two half-elf girls had still been standing on duty inside, so Chen Yu brought out another large meal for them and told them to eat properly. While they were eating, Chen Yu asked an important question. Were there more girls like them in the half-elf tribe? He was already thinking ahead. Happy Chess and Cards couldn't survive forever on just one card game. He planned to keep adding more board and card games from his old world, but to do that, he needed more staff, more NPCs to teach, guide, and run the place. Lena swallowed her food and explained that their own village was actually very small. Years of goblin harassment had worn it down, and most of their people had already migrated to a larger half-elf village over 10 kilometers away. The moment Chen Yu heard that, his interest rose. A bigger village meant more population. And more population meant more future staff for Great Zia Sleepless City. Lena told Chen Yu there was a larger half-elf village nearby, but the whole area was under a goblin kingdom. Goblins were weak individually, but their numbers were huge, which was why nearby intelligent races kept getting oppressed. Chen Yu immediately marked the Goblin Kingdom as his next target. Soon after, the adventure squad returned with a strong harvest, including a large bag of magic crystals. They had also located the Goblin tribe, but stopped because it was already night. Since the mission results were better than expected, Chen Yu raised the rewards and checked the contribution rankings. Bai Feifei ranked first, followed by Wu Yue and Li Ruopu. He then posted the next quest for tomorrow: conquer the Goblin tribe in a short 4-hour mission. After the adventurers left, Chen Yu reviewed his territory. With 4 happy chess and cards lines already running, he decided that was enough for now. What he needed next was a new dungeon type. He had already realized a problem. If adventurers kept stacking more and more happy coins with nowhere else to spend them, the game would eventually lose its excitement. So he needed a second dungeon that would consume happy coins and become part of a larger dungeon economy. After thinking it through, Chen Yu chose his next project: Resident Evil. He picked it because it was combat-based, had a modern apocalypse setting that would feel fresh to adventurers, and was also relatively easy for him to build in the early stage. His plan was simple: use a zombie-filled underground research base as the beginner mode, then expand and refine it later. After choosing Resident Evil as the next dungeon, Chen Yu immediately started building its framework in the system. He recreated the hive base, train tracks, metal corridors, labs, the Red Queen, laser corridor, and liquor pods, planning to finish the rest over the next 2 days. Before sleeping, he also posted tomorrow's mission: quest: capture the Goblin tribe. Reward: 500 happy coins. Top 5 100 contribution points. Duration: 4 hours. Then Chen Yu used the magic crystals brought back by the adventurers to upgrade the adventure spirits in the tavern. All adventure spirits were upgraded from level 1 to level 2. One spirit was further boosted with the excellent grade magic crystal from the Goblin leader. The result was a huge jump in combat power, making tomorrow's Goblin mission much easier. After that, Chen Yu finally went to sleep. He noticed Lena and Effie had already cleaned his room, which made the ruined castle feel a little more livable. The next morning, Lena and Effie opened happy chess and cards early. And the reservations had exploded to 108 people. All 80 available slots across the 4 lines were instantly filled. The remaining adventurers could only wait outside, but nobody wanted to leave. Once someone entered happy chess and cards, they basically stayed for the entire day. Outside the dungeon, the people who failed to get in were already getting restless. Happy chess and cards had officially become overcrowded. Happy chess and cards completely exploded in popularity. The moment Chen Yu woke up, the dungeon was already packed. With 4 lines running at full capacity, the place had turned into a giant social gaming hall. New adventurers were shocked by the sight of 80 people in one dungeon at once, while veterans were already seated, farming happy coins and dragging newcomers into games. The atmosphere was chaotic in the best way possible. Some people came because of recommendations. Some came because other dungeons were boring. Some came just to watch the excitement. But once they stepped inside, most of them stayed. The result was obvious: soul crystals started pouring in non-stop. By the time Chen Yu checked his balance, he had already earned enough to immediately expand again. Without hesitation, he opened happy chess and cards line 5, pushing total capacity even higher. The adventurers waiting outside instantly rushed in. Inside, Lena and Effie were overwhelmed but still keeping everything running smoothly. One handled coin exchanges and player management, while the other ran the bar and sold drinks, desserts, and expensive celebration packages to players who had just one big. The 2 half-elf girls were already becoming the true face of the dungeon. Chen Yu watched the scene and was extremely satisfied. The dungeon was finally operating on its own. But today's real focus wasn't the card hall. It was the Goblin tribe conquest mission. Because the adventure spirits had been upgraded yesterday, Chen Yu had to spend 40 soul crystals to summon the 20-man squad again. This time, however, the summoned adventurers were much stronger. Their spirits had reached level 2, and Wu Yue's 4-star adventure spirit even unlocked a combat skill, letting him fire off shockwave attacks. The squad's morale instantly shot up. Bai Feifei quickly pulled everyone back on task, reminding them they only had 4 hours to finish the mission before being forcibly returned. Wu Yue stopped fooling around, Li Ruopu got serious, and the whole team immediately set off toward the goblin tribe. This time the squad looked stronger than before. Several familiar faces were present, but there were also new recruits among the 20. Some had joined just to get access to happy chess and cards, while others were simply curious after hearing how good Chen Yu's dungeon was. And among the newcomers, one person stood out immediately. At the very back of the group walked a young girl whose movements were calm, sharp, and clearly trained. Even Bai Feifei couldn't help glancing at her a few extra times. This mission might not be as simple as before. The adventure squad pushed deeper into the forest when a furious wrath bear suddenly attacked. Wu Yue rushed forward, but someone was even faster. A quiet girl stepped in and killed the bear with one clean slash, shocking everyone. Li Ruopu proudly introduced her. Li Ruoshu, his older sister and an elite member of the Black Rose Raiders group, one of Tidal Town's strongest strategy teams. The squad instantly trusted her leadership. Soon they reached the goblin tribe. The village was heavily defended with walls, watchtowers, and around 40-50 goblins, including 2 elite leaders. A direct assault would be too risky. After thinking for a moment, Li Ruoshu came up with a plan. The wrath bear they had just killed was the key. Since the goblins had attacked it earlier, they would drag its corpse to the tribe and use it as bait, luring the goblins outside instead of attacking the walls. The trap was set, the real battle was about to begin. Li Ruoshu's plan began with Wu Yue wearing the wrath bear skin to lure the goblins out. The trap worked. The goblins opened the gates and the adventurers ambushed them. Wu Yue stunned the enemies while Li Ruoshu led the charge. After a short battle, both goblin leaders were defeated and the tribe fell. Searching the camp, Bai Feifei found only empty slave pens. The real prisoners had already been moved further north, hinting at a much larger goblin force. The adventurers claimed the Guardian Stone, officially giving Chen Yu ownership of the territory. Without hesitation, Chen Yu activated it and renamed the settlement Resident Evil Base City. The new territory was poor, just 2 fertile farmlands and a broken warehouse, but it was the perfect location for his future Resident Evil dungeon. To populate it, Chen Yu immediately built a portal and sent Effie with the adventurers to recruit the entire nearby half-elf village into the new territory. His dungeon empire had officially begun expanding. After capturing the goblin tribe, Chen Yu rewarded the adventurers. The top performers were Li Ruoshu, Wu Yue, and Qi Maosong, while those escorting Effie earned a small bonus. Meanwhile, Lina called Chen Yu back to happy chess and cards. A famous dungeon streamer named Wu Yang wanted to negotiate. He claimed he could bring thousands of players, but demanded special treatment in return. His fans should receive double happy coins. He should play for free. Chen Yu immediately refused. He explained that giving one group unfair advantages would destroy the dungeon's economy and be unfair to every other adventurer. Wu Yang insisted Chen Yu needed his promotion. Chen Yu didn't budge. He warned Wu Yang to either play normally or leave, and if he caused trouble, he'd be permanently banned. Humiliated, Wu Yang stormed off, already planning to attack happy chess and cards online. Effie returned with magic crystals, hides, herbs, and materials from the goblin tribe. The biggest surprise, Lina and Effie promised to make Chen Yu a proper bed and blanket, ending his nights on a cold stone slab. Meanwhile, the remaining 12 half-elves officially moved into Resident Evil Base City, where they began farming and rebuilding the territory. Chen Yu's population grew to 14 half-elves, including Lina and Effie, 2 half-elf swordsmen, village elder, 9 villagers. After learning about a nearby rabbiteer village, Chen Yu upgraded the 2 half-elf swordsmen with magic crystals before sending them to investigate. Back at Happy Chess and Cards, demand exploded again. Even with 100-player capacity, people were still waiting outside. Chen Yu immediately spent another 100 soul crystals to open Line 6. Now with 600,000 plus happy coins circulating, he knew it was time to launch his next dungeon. He returned to building Resident Evil, finishing the map and preparing its first enemies. Zombies with the liquor as the beginner boss. Happy Chess and Cards ended another successful day. After logging out, Li Ruopu checked his dungeon rewards, receiving strange foods like Luosiphon, Sprite, bread, and a self-heating hot pot. His sister Li Ruoshu arrived carrying a bucket of fried chicken. Curious but cautious, she forced Li Ruopu to taste it first to make sure it wasn't poisonous. After seeing him enjoy it, she finally tried it herself. The crispy fried chicken and burger instantly won her over. She quickly finished the entire meal while pretending to stay calm. Li Ruopu laughed, knowing Chen Yu's food had already captured her interest. Although she admitted the food was amazing, Li Ruoshu said a card game dungeon alone wasn't enough to keep her attention. As a combat specialist, she wanted to see a real battle dungeon. Li Ruopu believed Chen Yu's upcoming Resident Evil dungeon would eventually convince her to become his contract adventurer. Meanwhile, the angry streamer Wu Yang returned home and wrote a long post attacking Happy Chess and Cards. He called it a bubble dungeon, claiming happy coins had no real value and would eventually become worthless. According to him, Chen Yu was tricking adventurers into exchanging their lives for useless currency. Many of Wu Yang's followers believed his words. They began criticizing Chen Yu's dungeon and even targeted Bai Feifei, accusing her of misleading players just to gain popularity. Wu Yang smiled with satisfaction, believing he had started damaging Chen Yu's growing reputation. Wu Yang's forum exploded with accusations that happy coins were worthless, and his followers flooded Bai Feifei's livestream with insults. She and her friends had been promoting Happy Chess and Cards, but the sudden wave of abuse left Wu Lanlin in tears. Refusing to back down, Bai Feifei argued with the trolls and firmly defended Chen Yu. She declared that happy coins would soon gain new uses, just as Chen Yu had promised. In the heat of the moment, she even announced that anyone who doubted their value could sell their happy coins to her for real money. The moment the stream ended, she realized how serious her promise was. Not long after, adventurers gathered outside her home, demanding to exchange their happy coins. While Wu Lanlin wanted to apologize and Lin Xiaoxia wanted to argue, Bai Feifei made up her mind. She believed Chen Yu's plan would succeed, so she decided to buy every happy coin offered at a 10 happy coins to 1 cash ratio, even if it meant spending all her savings. Inspired by her determination, Wu Lanlin and Lin Xiaoxia also contributed their own savings. As transactions poured in, Lina noticed from the dungeon's logs that huge amounts of happy coins were all being transferred to Bai Feifei. Realizing something unusual was happening, she grew worried but didn't dare interrupt Chen Yu, who was fully focused on building the Resident Evil dungeon. Behind the scenes, Wu Yang secretly spread the news even further. His plan was simple: let Bai Feifei buy up all the happy coins, then expose the situation and ruin both her and Chen Yu's reputation. Within a short time, Bai Feifei had collected nearly 200,000 happy coins, around 30% of the total supply. But Wu Yang overlooked one crucial detail. The veteran adventurers who truly held the largest stockpile of happy coins never sold a single one. Instead, Wu Yue publicly announced that anyone wanting to sell their happy coins at the same rate could come to him because he was willing to buy even more. After the happy coin controversy settled, almost all remaining happy coins ended up in the hands of Chen Yu's supporters. Seeing the transaction logs, Chen Yu quickly understood what had happened. Rather than worrying, he turned the situation into an opportunity. He canceled the happy coin referral rewards and replaced them with a free entry to Resident Evil for every successful referral. He also enabled dungeon live streaming, allowing adventurers to broadcast their gameplay. His biggest decision, however, was making Resident Evil a nearly free dungeon. Instead of consuming an entry attempt, players only needed to spend 200 happy coins to enter. As long as they had enough happy coins, they could keep playing and earning rewards. Every feature inside the dungeon would also consume happy coins, creating the perfect sink for the growing currency. To other dungeon lords, both free entry and live streaming were considered terrible business decisions because they shortened a dungeon's lifespan. But Chen Yu didn't care. He wanted popularity first, believing he could always create even better dungeons later. After spending 100 soul crystals, he finally completed Resident Evil inside Resident Evil Base City, leaving himself with only 12 soul crystals. Early the next morning, Chen Yu activated the dungeon before going back to sleep. When adventurers logged into Great Zia's Sleepless City, they were greeted by the brand new Resident Evil dungeon. Curious players rushed to enter, only to discover an unexpected requirement. Entry cost 200 happy coins. Those who had sold all their happy coins during yesterday's exchange were instantly locked out, filling the chat with complaints and regret. Meanwhile, a few players who had kept their happy coins paid the fee without hesitation. Moments later, the dungeon's player count changed from 020 to 120, marking the official beginning of Resident Evil. The first adventurer, Bai Xiaobai, entered Resident Evil and found himself aboard a strange train unlike anything he had ever seen. Before the mission began, a prompt asked if he wanted to enable a full live stream. Surprised that Chen Yu allowed players to broadcast the entire dungeon, Bai Xiaobai confidently accepted, convinced he could clear it in one run. Outside the dungeon, curious adventurers quickly joined the stream. Many mocked Chen Yu's decision, believing live streams would let strategy groups easily discover every secret and shorten the dungeon's lifespan. After completing a brief firearm tutorial, Bai Xiaobai arrived inside the hive, where the dark laboratories and eerie atmosphere immediately made viewers uneasy. While exploring, he spotted a motionless corpse suspended in a water tank, but dismissed it as nothing more than a horror gimmick. Moments later, he encountered a strange figure in a white lab coat. Before he could react, the creature suddenly turned around. Zombie! The monster charged at him, forcing Bai Xiaobai to fire several panicked shots. Although the bullets knocked it down, the zombie slowly crawled back to its feet, shocking both him and the viewers. Just then, someone from a strategy group typed a suggestion in the chat. Aim for the head. Bai Xiaobai immediately fired another shot, blowing the zombie's head apart and finally killing it. Seeing how slowly the zombie moved, many viewers laughed, convinced they had already figured out the dungeon. Compared to goblins, these monsters didn't seem dangerous at all. None of them realized that Resident Evil had only just begun. After all, the first zombie had gone down with a single headshot. But that confidence quickly vanished when everyone saw dozens of zombies respond to the gunfire and surround him. With no bullets left, Bai Xiaobai was torn apart and forced out of the dungeon. To his surprise, the rewards were generous. More importantly, he realized that Resident Evil only required 200 happy coins per entry. The moment he understood its value, he rushed to the chat and posted, "Buying happy coins at 1 to 5, unlimited quantity." The channel exploded. Soon, a second adventurer entered the dungeon. Having learned from Bai Xiaobai's experience, he immediately headshot the first zombie, but the gunfire once again attracted a horde. Although he escaped into another room, the flooded laboratory suddenly opened, releasing more zombies. His pistol ran dry and he was quickly killed. By now, the entire channel was hooked. Just then, a member of a strategy group spoke up. "I think I've figured out this section. Sponsor me 200 happy coins and I'll test it." Excited adventurers immediately pooled their remaining happy coins and sent him enough to enter. Once inside, the strategy group expert avoided using his gun. Instead, he quietly circled behind the first zombie and killed it with a knife. The viewers instantly understood. The pistol wasn't the solution, it was a trap. Gunshots attracted nearby zombies, while stealth allowed players to move safely through the facility. Carefully advancing, the expert entered the next room and immediately locked the door behind him. Confused viewers asked why he would block his own escape route. Only then did the strategy group member speak in a serious tone. "Because there's something moving inside those cultivation pods." The chat instantly fell silent. The viewers finally realized that the dungeon was far more dangerous than it first appeared. The strategy group expert noticed something terrifying inside the laboratory's cultivation pods. Although the creatures were still frozen, he guessed they would awaken sooner or later, so he locked the door behind him before continuing. Meanwhile, happy chests and cards reopened, and adventurers rushed to exchange soul crystals for happy coins. Many immediately spent them to enter Resident Evil, filling the dungeon to capacity. With dozens of players live streaming at once, viewers watched one failure after another. Even the strategy group expert eventually fell to a terrifying zombie dog, proving that no one had come close to clearing the dungeon. Despite the constant deaths, players became even more addicted. The food rewards from each run were generous, making repeated entries highly profitable. Since Resident Evil required happy coins, demand for the currency skyrocketed overnight. Those who had sold their happy coins during yesterday's controversy were filled with regret, as the exchange rate surged from 10 happy coins per cash to nearly 1 happy coin per cash. Realizing he had misled everyone, angry adventurers flooded Wu Yang's forum with criticism, forcing him to hide offline. Furious, he blamed Chen Yu and decided to bring in even stronger strategy group members to crack the dungeon. On Chen Yu's side, the business was booming. Within just 2 hours, Resident Evil earned him 200 soul crystals. Seeing the endless queue of players, he immediately spent 100 soul crystals to open Resident Evil Server 2. The new server filled almost instantly as adventurers eagerly rushed in, determined to become the first to clear the dungeon. When Bai Feifei, Wu Lanlin, and Lin Xiaoxia woke up and saw the market, they were stunned. The 200,000 happy coins they had bought cheaply the previous day had increased in value almost tenfold overnight. After buying 200,000 happy coins overnight, Bai Feifei, Wu Lanlin, and Lin Xiaoxiao had nearly spent all their savings. They had trusted Chen Yu, but risking their retirement money still left them anxious. The next morning, however, the value of happy coins had increased nearly tenfold, instantly turning them into wealthy women. Many buyers immediately offered to purchase their coins at a 1-1 exchange rate, but Bai Feifei refused. She believed that as Chen Yu released more dungeons, happy coins would become even more valuable. She explained that as long as Chen Yu carefully controlled the supply while continuing to expand the happy coin ecosystem, the currency's value would keep rising. The three decided to hold on to their coins and continue supporting Chen Yu instead of cashing out. Bai Feifei then revealed she had reached Starry Sky Rank 1, allowing her to claim an exclusive Resident Evil reward pack unavailable to ordinary players. Using her VIP privileges, she skipped the long queue and entered the dungeon immediately. Her livestream attracted a huge audience, many noticing the unique Starry Sky Rank 1 title above her head. After completing the tutorial, Bai Feifei drew the exclusive reward from her gift pack, a golden desert eagle with higher damage and a larger magazine. With a single shot, she effortlessly blew apart the first zombie's head. Watching countless players struggle all morning, the audience was stunned. Everyone instantly became jealous of the exclusive weapon, realizing that earning Starry Sky Rank offered rewards far beyond simple titles.
Okay, that's the end of this part, but I promise there's much more to come. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing so you don't miss the next part.